Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Excel training class. And I want to say hi to everyone. If you are yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button in order to get to a wider audience and a wider reach. Like the videos too if you're yet to do that. Okay, my name is Inyobo Emmanuel. I bring to you Excel tutorials that you can learn and improve your Excel analysis skills of data. Okay, right on my screen I have a new one for everybody, and this is a data set that's showing sales record of different salesperson for the first quarter of the year. All right, I usually tell my students that whenever you want to work on a data set, you should first of all understand what that data set is all about. Okay, like I said earlier, this data set contains sales records of over 18 persons for the first quarter of the year. You can see this person called Abeson Kati, he generated sales record of $3,799 in January, and the rest and stuff like that. Okay, so all these guys are salesperson, and these are the records of sales they generated. Okay, now we have some queries that comes with this particular spreadsheet I will want to sort out. Now the first question is, we want to find the total sales generated by each salesperson for the first quarter of the year. We want to find the total sales generated by each salesperson. Okay, like for this first person here called Abeson Kati, we want to find the total sales generated from January, February, summation of all the sales from January to June. All right, so I treated that particular function that is used to determine the total sales. It's called a sum function. So you can actually watch my video that I specifically talked about sum functions in Excel. So right now we are going to incorporate it into this particular task that we are being given. All right, so the next question here is finding the average sales. Finding the average sales, I will tell you the function that can be used to determine the average sales. Okay, then we have a third question here. It says if the total sales is greater than the average. Okay, we first of all get the total sales, then we are now determining if the total sales for each person is greater than the average we have determined. We can indicate using conditional uh, formatting or if statements. We can use it to indicate that that particular sale is a good sale, or otherwise it's a low sale. Okay, I don't know if you get question 3. I'll give you a brief recap of what question 3 talks about. It says if the total sales is greater than average sales for each person, we are going to use if statement there. It should indicate a good salesperson, otherwise it should indicate what? A low sale. All right, I'm sure that question is clear, and we're going to use if statement to find a solution to that. So the last question but not least is, how many salesperson are above average? How many salesperson are above the average you determine? Okay, you can find out that all these questions, the solution to all these questions will be generated using Excel function. There's nothing new that's coming in from the space. All right, the solution to all the questions is going to be based on the calculation that we are getting. All right, so first of all, I want to determine the total sales generated by each salesperson. If this person got these sales in January, generated these sales in February, March, April, and so on, so what should be the total sales? Okay, definitely we go and create a new column called total sales. Total sales. Okay, I can make this bold, just style it, give it something beautiful, make it appear beautiful. All right, I can still style it with blue or something like that. No, I don't want it to match with this other color. Let me style it with something else. Total sales, and make it bold and increase the font size as well. All right, how do we determine the total sales? Now it can be determined using some function. Yes, just say is equals to sum bracket open. Where are we starting from? We are starting from cell B2, the column B in row 2. So we call this particular cell reference B2. So B2, and where are we going to end from? End G2. G2. All right, you can see it's going to highlight everything from B2 to G2 and give it a value. If you check the formula bar, you can equally generate another formula that can give this particular result by saying is equals to B2 plus what? C2 plus what? Plus D2 plus what? E2 plus what? F2. Am I saying something? Plus what? G2. G2. So you can equally do something like this. If you don't prefer this, you can work with this. Okay, but I think the first one I gave is way too faster. You're gonna have the same answer, right? Yes, that's cool. So I only need this. I can just delete it off. I want to work with this. Okay, right now I've been able to generate the total sales for the first salesperson on my list. All right, so I want to do the same thing right here. Instead of me typing the formula that would add up, sum up all of these sales, I could just come to this particular point right here and drag it down. What happens? The total sales gets generated. Okay, we want to replicate what has been done in the first cell of total sales and also downward. So right now we've been able to answer the first question, which says find the total sales generated by what? Each salesperson. So these are the total sales generated by each salesperson. Now the next question is saying let's determine the average sales. What do you mean by average sales? It's the summation of all sales divided by number of salesperson. Okay, that's how you can get the average sales. Let's see the formula for average sales. Let's call this particular place average. Average. Then the formula for average is equals to average. You type in average, bracket open, H2 towards H19, H2 ratio H19. That's the cell range we wish to cover. The moment you call a cell range, what really happens is that cell gets highlighted. Okay, so we want to find the average of all of these sales. Okay, let's hit the enter button. So this is the average sales. Now we've gotten question solution to question 2. Right, this is the average. The average sales is $38,000 463. $38,463. That's the average sales from all of this. So whatever questions we are going to be solving or getting an answer for will be highly dependent on what this average sales. Now let's move on to question 3. I'm sure question 1 and 2 are clear. If they are not clear, you can drop your comments on the comment section of the video and I'll be there to pick them up and answer them for you. Any aspect that's not clear that I really want some explanation about. Now let's go to question 3. This is question 3 on my screen. It said if the total sales is greater than average, if the total sales is greater than average, indicate a good salesperson, otherwise indicate low sale. Now if you are familiar with Excel, you know we are going to implement an if statement in this particular case. Okay, we are going to implement an if statement in this particular case. All right, so let's call this a remark. Let's title this as remark, and I would like the cell style to be this, no, this, 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 no. Let's leave it as this. This cell style is called remark, and the remark we're going to be including is either good sales or bad sales or low sales. All right. So the question, I repeat the question again. Say if the total sales is greater than average sales, indicates a good salesperson. So we're going to use if statements here by saying is equals to if bracket open H2, that is the total sale for the first person. H2, if H2 is greater than what average sales, what's the average sales? 38,460. 38,463. Now we are saying if H2 is greater than, I'm sure you know how we got H2. H2 is the total sales for the first person. So if you're doing for the second person, it's going to be what, H3, okay? But we don't necessarily need to be typing all this H3, H4 and stuff. We can just do automatic complete and it gets completed for us. All right. So if H2 is greater than this average, which is 38, don't be confused on how we got this average. We got this average by doing what, adding all of this and using the average function. Okay. So if this is greater than this comma, what should happen? We could indicate good sales, then apostrophe, close that. Otherwise, we could say, sorry, this comma doesn't need to be here. Is it? Yes, please. Otherwise, we say low sales, right? So Excel is going to read through that column to see if this value is greater than this value. If it is, it's going to indicate low sales using the if statement. If it is greater, if this H2 is greater than this value, it's going to indicate good sales rather. But if it's not, if this condition is not being met, if statement is used to implement condition, if this condition is not being met, what will happen? It's going to indicate what, low sales. All right, I'm sure that's very clear, guys. So after we've done this, you hit the enter button. Of course, you can see it, Excel tries to compare this 26,263 with the average sale, which is what, 38,463, and you can see this one is lesser than this one. So automatically you should do what, indicate. If this condition is being met, this will be executed. If this condition is not being met, this will be replaced. All right. So guys, I'm very sure you understood how I got that. So instead of me now typing the same thing by saying is equals to, let me just do that for the second part. Is equals to if bracket open. Now it's going to be H3, that's the cell reference. Now if H3 is greater than 38,463, comma, what should happen? It should indicate good sales. Good what? Good sales person. Otherwise, it should indicate what? The way I'm typing this is the way you're going to type it. I'm going to make this spreadsheet available in the description section of my video where you can download it. So don't get worried. So we implemented the same formula for the second one. Let's hit the enter button. You can see this particular value is actually greater than the average value. All right, that's why it's showing us good sales. Now I don't have to do the same thing for the this third section. I can just come here. I want the same formula to be implemented in all. I'll just do an autocomplete stuff in Excel. Excel has that particular command for autocomplete. Okay, or you can just drag the rectangle that is here by the edge, the right hand side, and you drag it right down. Okay, so you can see we have some salesperson as good salesperson and some as what, as low sales. Okay, now we are at the fourth question. The fourth question says how many salesperson are above average. How many salesperson are above average? Remember, question 3 says if the sales is above average, indicates what, good salesperson. So we want to count how many persons are good salesperson. Those are the people that are above what, average. So I would like to advise you, before you do that, you can filter out the ones that are good first. How can you filter? Please highlight all the headers by clicking on one, and you go to where you have filter on your screen. So once you click on filter, you can select this filter here. So you can see this is ready for filtering. The moment you see the down arrow, you can see that particular column is what's ready for what, filtering. So what should happen now is for you to click on it to make only good sales visible. Okay, how can we make good sales visible? Turn off low sales. These two items here represent what is in the column I. Okay, in column I you can either see what's good low sales or good sales person. So the moment you want to filter, you don't want to see those with low sales, We only want to see those with what? Good sales, those who are good salesperson. So you turn off the button for low sales and click on OK. The moment you've done this, instead of me counting visually or by eyes, I could just implement an Excel function right here, and that function is called a subtotal. So if you look at this now, we've done a whole lot of, we've used like over 4 to 5 functions to solve a particular problem. All right, so it's not all about cramming all these functions, it's all about knowing what they do and when to use them. All right, so right now we want to count those, how many persons are good salesperson. So we just say is equals to, we are using the subtotal function here, is equals to subtotal bracket open 103 comma, what's the cell range? The cell range is I3 to I what 17, I3 ratio I17. You can see it's already being highlighted. I know a lot of people is going to ask me, then we click on enter. So these are eight persons are good, had good sales. That's what it means. That's what the question 3 means. 8 persons had was good sales. So a lot of people will be asking me, let me click on this again. A lot of people will be asking, oh, what happened to, why is 103 part of the calculation? 103 is part of the formula because you are telling Excel to count only the visible part of that column I that you have filtered out. So 103 is not really used by Excel for this calculation. Okay, 103 is only telling Excel that only count the visible words, the visible items in the column, like this first good salesperson, this other one, this other one. Only count the visible ones. Okay, the ones that have been filtered out, don't count it. So that 103 is like a pointer to Excel, telling Excel to count the ones that are visible. So 103 is not being used in the calculation. All right, guys, this, we have already gotten a solution to this, which we have 8 persons who performed very well in their sales record. So the manager can go ahead to reward these people. Okay, he can go ahead to reward these people because they perform way too above average. All right, guys, I'll be stopping this video right here. If you have questions, you can indicate in the comment section. Then if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and also like the video to get to a wider audience. All right, guys, catch you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.